you see what looks like glitter in the oil? Yeah, that's not what you want to see coming out of your engine. You may remember a few months ago we tore down our customer Steve's WRX engine after it had failed at his 75th track day. He gave us a call stating that it made a loud thud upon startup and that it would just not turn over again. So a few days later, he dropped it off to us. When we got the engine out, here's what we found.
Holy
So let's catch you up to present day, or technically a few weeks ago. The team had many talks with Steve about what the next step for the car was. What would be the best kit available for this track-dedicated circuit racing beast. After planning out the build, Steve wanted to go with the P2P Racing Stage 1 short block with a power goal of 350 wheel horsepower. Now this doesn't sound like a lot, as we've seen other Subarus on our dyno make north of 800 horsepower, but this is the perfect amount of power for time attack and endurance racing, which is what Steve participates in. After the new engine is installed, there's a recommended break-in period from the manufacturer, meaning we have to drive the car a few hundred miles and change the oil a few times before we can actually get it on the dyno. Now that the break-in's completed, it's time to hit the dyno.
got that green-blue oil in it. Huh? Chris did a good job though. Seems really nice. Did a really good job on this. But we're gonna cut the filter open for reference. Visually, everything is looking good. If I cracked that and saw a shimmer coming down, I'd be a little bit more concerned. But we're looking good.
Kevin's gonna open the oil filter one more time to double check that everything's going smooth inside the new engine.
That looks good. You're gonna have shimmer on a fresh motor, but you cut this open and you got chunks. Not good. But we have no chunkers, just a little bit, tiny, minuscule amount of shimmer. So that's really good. Obviously, best is to rip this off, rip that off, and fan it out, but you get a pretty good idea by picking random spots and making sure you got no chunkers. You'd know. It'd be apparent if you got an issue.
Since everything checked out, it was time to fill the oil, and we'll see what type of power this P2P engine can put down. On the first hit, the car made 260, 252. Then 271, 262.
Might have to put another negative. Battery voltage is like not right. It's kind of all over the place. So I wonder if pretty much the charge sensor on the negative terminal is messed up. I mean, it's got one of those mini. I think it's an anti-grav. I don't know. I have to look what battery it is, but battery voltage is kind of all over the place. So I have to take a peek at that.
We wrapped jacked up 93 octane at 315 horsepower. As the main fuel we will be focused on is ethanol. In order to accurately tune on ethanol, first we need to drain the rest of the 93.
It's done. Leaving it at the 350 as per customer request and 7,000 RPM limit. Pretty much it. I mean, he made 400 before, but he just wanted it pulled back because it is a track car, so it beats on this thing pretty hard. I already wanted to stick around that 350 range, which that's where I wanted to leave it at on ethanol. So it'll be nice and stupid safe.
As per tradition, each dyno graph gets Kevin's signature to finish it off. Overall, we're happy to say Steve's WRX is ready to not only hit the road again, but is also ready to put down some solid, reliable lap times. Thanks for tuning in with us, and we'll see you in the next one.